Hello again. So I want to talk a bit today about intermittent fasting and the way that you can use this tool in your life to manage weight, increase productivity, improve your blood sugar balance, reduce inflammation. There's a whole bunch of benefits to including intermittent fasting into your plan. And there's a bunch of different ways that you can go about doing it as well. So when most people think about intermittent fasting, we're talking usually about something like a 16-8 or a 10-14 protocol, meaning that you're fasting for a certain amount of time and eating within a certain window. But there's also different methods of intermittent fasting. So there are alternate day fasts where you would eat one day, not eat the next, eat again, and just keep going like that. There's something called the 5-2 diet where you would eat normally for 5 days, and for 2 days you would severely restrict calories, so like a 500 calorie day. There's all sorts of methodologies like that. I'll list some more of them in and around this video somewhere that you can try out, but I have found that in my personal life and with the clients that I work with, that the 16-8 or the 10-14 protocol usually is the easiest to follow. And for women, I would most often recommend 10-14, and for men, they tend to do better with a 16-8. So that simply means that for women, we are eating within a 10-hour window and fasting for 14. For men, eating within an 8-hour window, fasting for 16. And we just need to be a little bit more careful as women because our hormones downregulate a little bit quicker because we need to save everything for reproduction. So we want to make sure that our hormones stay in balance. We want to make sure that our metabolism isn't downregulating and our thyroid function. So starting out with something like a 10-14 for women is beneficial in that regard. And it simply could look like skipping breakfast. So most people talk about, or it's kind of like hammered into us from a young age that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And that is not always true. Some people eat breakfast just because they feel like they should or because they're listening to that rule when they're not in fact hungry yet. So listen to your hunger cues. Begin eating whenever makes sense for you and your body. But if it feels natural and easy to skip breakfast and have your first meal of the day at 11 or noon, then that is already a form of intermittent fasting. And that can go a long way for balancing blood sugar straight away in the morning, especially if your lunchtime meal or your first meal of the day, if that's at 11, is still focused on mainly protein and fat sources. So we're balancing blood sugar out of the gate. This can lead to a whole host of health benefits, including weight loss, and those two things kind of go hand in hand. So I'll post some more information about fasting below, but one of the main tips that I like to tell people, and that has worked really well for me, is adding in a pinch of some sort of high quality salt in your first glass of water in the morning. So a Himalayan pink salt or a Celtic gray sea salt are both good options because this will provide some minerals and make sure that your body is able to have some energy for the beginning portion of the day. Something that I hear a lot from people that try fasting protocols is that they are cramping because your body and your kidneys start to reduce water weight quicker when your body isn't relying on glucose and your body is shifting into using ketones. And I know that ketogenic diets for a while were all the rave, but the body does well on ketones and its fat stores when we run out of glucose, and this is done naturally when we are fasting. It's done overnight when we're sleeping, and if we're pushing back our first meal of the day, then you are relying on ketones and your fat stores in the morning. So when you're doing so, it's beneficial to add in something like a little bit of salt or a little bit of electrolytes just to make sure that you're balanced and your energy is maintained. So I'll post more information. Let me know if you have any questions, but this is kind of a beginner's guide to fasting. Hope you enjoy, and let me know how it goes.